But then he was disappointed. He left the political arena of India, went to London, settled there, started his legal practice. But in 1932, Iqbal went there for the second roundtable conference and met him. At that time, Iqbal injected into him the concept of Islamic revival. Actually, protection of Muslims was a negative attitude based on fear. But to revive Islam and to show to the world a model of Islamic State, that was the positive purpose. He injected it and he persuaded him to come back to India and lead the Muslims. From that time onwards till his death, he was repeating this lesson given to him by Iqbal. Islam, Islam, Islam. And because the emotions, sentiments of the Muslim masses, due to these four mujaddids, they might not be practicing Muslims, but they had the influence in the subconscious mind, collective subconscious mind, of the concept of a revival of Islam. They gathered together under the banner of Muslim League. And the election of 1946, Muslim League came out as the sole representative of the Muslims of India, which could not be put off, bypassed in any solution of the future of India after independence. It had a say. Now, leaving here, now I come to, along with Iqbal, we had three more very important persons. Number two was Abul Kalam Azad, who died in 1958 as the Education Minister of India. He was influenced and inspired by the poetry of Iqbal. In 1913, he established a party called Hizbullah, the party of Allah. And he stated that aim of this party is to establish the kingdom of Allah on earth. I may say kingdom of heaven on earth, but it was Hukumat-e Ilahiyya, kingdom of Allah on earth. And it was based on Bay'ah. Bay'ah means oath of personal allegiance. I accept you as my leader, I will obey. Within the parameters of the Sharia, if you give me some commandment order which contravenes the Sharia, I won't accept, I won't obey. But if it is within the parameters of the Sharia, I will accept, I will obey. I'll give you my opinion, my advice, but the decision will not be made through majority vote of the party. The decision will rest with you personally. This is Bay'ah, the institution for the basis of organization in Islam, which is mentioned in Quran, in Hadith, in Sirah, life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But till that time, the orthodox ulama, I have told you before, that they had a limited concept of Islam as a mazhab only. Actually, the revolutionary concept of Islam was revived by Iqbal, saying that this is deen, not mazhab. There can be no dichotomy between mazhab and deen and siyasat. जुदा हो दी सियासत से तो रह जाती है चंगेजी. If our politics is separate from our religion, then it is all tyranny, not Islam. But on that basis, the first practical attempt was made by Abul Kalam Azad. He was very close to Sheikhul Hind also. So these two influences worked on him. The Mujaddid of the 14th century Hijrah, Sheikhul Hind, Maulana Mahmud Hassan, and Allama Iqbal. The reviver of the revolutionary concept of Islam. But because I told you, the ulama in general were sticking to that limited concept of mazhab. There is a very incisive couplet of Iqbal. I'm sorry you can't appreciate it. By translation, you know, that real spirit cannot be transmitted. मुल्ला को जो है हिंद में सजदे की इजाजत नादा ये समझता है कि इस्लाम है आजाद. The Maulvi, the mullah, because he is allowed by the Britishers, you can pray, you can keep fast. He thinks that Islam is free. Islam is not free. Islam as a deen is downtrodden under the feet of the Britishers. मुल्ला को जो है हिंद में सजदे की इजाजत नादा ये समझता है कि इस्लाम है आजाद. इस्लाम इज नॉट फ्री. इट विल ओनली बी फ्री व्हेन इट इज एस्टैब्लिश्ड एज अ दीन. So I told you that ulama rejected him, and frustrated by this attitude of the ulama, he wound up and then joined Indian National Congress for the struggle for independence. In 1920, for 7 years he was working under Hizbullah, and he also added to the call for going back to Quran. He also did it. Then a few years after this rolling of the bed of Hizbullah, appeared Maulana Maududi on the scene. Accumulating the influences of Abul Kalam, of Iqbal. He established Jamaat Islami in 1941. The sole objective which was stated in the beginning was the same word, Hukumat-e-Ilahiyya, kingdom of Allah. He borrowed it from Abul Kalam Azad. But later on, when a Quranic scholar joined his hands with him, then the term was adopted, Iqamatud-Deen, to establish the deen of Allah. It is derived from the ayah of Quran, Aqimud-Deen, it's your duty, O Muslims, to establish the deen of Allah. Now, along with Jamaat Islami, talking about India, but it must be noted that it was a pan-Islamic sort of thought. These movements were contemporary, starting from Indonesia, Masyumi Party, India, Jamaat Islami, Iran, Fidayin, and from Egypt started the big movement of Al-Ikhwan Muslimun. Nearly the same thought. And this thought came to the surface on the basis of the ending of the colonial rule. Now when we are free, we should practice our Islam as a total deen. So these movements started